Everybody can hear me? Okay. So, my name is Mr. Johnson, principal over at Kennedy Middle School. Looking forward to having all of you real soon. Okay. Today, we are here because we want to explain to you guys kind of how the next step in your guys' educational journey is going to look. Okay. We're going to talk about course selections. We're going to talk a little bit about Kennedy Middle School. And I want to be able to answer some questions today, but my hope is that many of you guys will come out on the 15th, next week, Wednesday, to our open house for our incoming 6th graders. You guys can come in, explore the building, check some things out, and answer or ask any questions while you guys are there. The hope is that you guys will be able to kind of get a layout of the building, have an understanding of what is to come. But I also want you guys to enjoy the rest of the time that you guys have here at Violent All-Stars. Okay? This is one of those moments where you guys are one school right now. You guys are going to come together with the other 2 elementary schools. Okay. Thank you. You're going to come together with the other 2 elementary schools. You guys are going to become one family. Okay? We're going to become Kennedy Clippers. And those individuals that you guys are together with for 3 years at the middle school, you guys will then go to the high school together. So you're going to spend the next 7 years of your life with those people that you meet when you come to Kennedy. Okay? I know it's a big change. I know many of you might be pretty nervous about it, but I can promise you it's going to be one of the best times of your life. Okay? We have a lot of great things going on at Kennedy. I want you guys to be a part of that. I want you guys to experience those things. And I want you guys to make new friends, get involved in some of the athletics, some of the clubs that we have going on. Those are things that we're going to talk about today. All right? Mr. P, our counselor here, is going to talk to you guys and talk you through this document that you guys received. And then we're going to go over the scheduling situation. Ms. Kubiak here is going to be recording what's going on so we can send it home to your families. So that way if you guys have questions when you get home and you discuss the scheduling with your parents, maybe you guys can look back at the video and then have any questions that you might have answered. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. P.
Thank you.
He can go through the schedule.
Okay, so as he said, my name is Mr. P. Actually, it's Mr. Plakowski. And so I will be your counselor for the next 3 years. Okay? You guys have Mr. Paul, right? He's a social worker. We have a social worker in our building as well. Her name is Ms. Gombowski. But we also have 2 counselors. So the counselors each have a grade level. So I'll have next year's 6th graders. Ms. Stafford has next year's 8th graders. And we split the 7th grade class for next year. So you'll see a female counselor there next year as well. All right? I know some of you already put your name on it. If you haven't done that yet, please do that. So in case it's left behind or you lose it, we know exactly who to give it to. They only have 1 paper right now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay, so next year, you're going to take 4 core classes. And that's the sheet. On the first sheet, we're going to talk about those 4 core classes. I'm not going to bore you and read that to you. You guys can read that with your parents. But what are those 4 core classes that you're going to take? Give me one. Language arts. Okay, we call it language arts. In elementary school, it might be reading. You might do some writing, might do some spelling. But in middle school, we call it language arts. What's another one? Yes, next to it. Math. So it's called math, okay? Math 6. And so math 6 does things like number system, fractions, statistics, that kind of stuff. Give me another one. Science, okay? In science in 6th grade, we cover rocks, the earth, okay? Astronomy. We don't cover plants. We don't cover animals in 6th grade. That's 7th grade. In 8th grade, we do physical science. So each of the grade levels at the middle school do something different. And then what's last but not least? Yes, sir. World geography. Okay, so they're going to cover things like Latin America, Mexico, Central America. They're going to cover South America. They're going to cover Central Europe and Russia. Okay? Then when you get to 7th grade, you do ancient world history. And then in 8th grade, you do U.S. history. So those are the core classes that every sixth grader has to have next year. So, you guys have specials. What's your special today, sir? PE. How often do you get to go to PE, sir? Every 3 days. How about if I said to you, sir, next year in the middle school, you can go every day. That's exciting. But you only get it for 10 weeks. Okay? You guys call them specials. We call them exploratories. So when you explore, you're doing many different things. So we're not going to let you just explore gym every day for the full year. Okay? So gym is one of those exploratories you're going to get. Okay? That's your special today. But again, you're going to get that class every day for 10 weeks. And then in 10 weeks, you get a different one. So, where's another class? What do you guys have over here? What's your special? STEAM, technology class, right? Again, you'll get a technology class every day for 10 weeks. Okay? So, the big thing about middle school is we don't walk like little ducklings down to STEAM, or we don't walk like little ducklings down to gym. You get a schedule, and on your schedule, it might say you have gym first hour. And my friend over here, he might have math first hour. You guys have some independence where you go on your own to class. Everyone's schedule is going to be different. Okay? Everyone's schedule is going to be different. That's a big difference about middle school. We call them exploratories, they're not specials, and they happen every day for 10 weeks. And then in 10 weeks, we get a new one. So you get a new schedule, and your schedule changes. Now, page 2. This is important. I know that the band people, you guys went and saw the band people at the high school and the choir people. Okay? So they kind of put out the program to you about band and choir. So it says your student may choose to be enrolled in band or choir. So the only choice 6th graders are getting next year is one simple question. Actually, 2 simple questions. Do I want to be in band? If you answer yes, that's your exploratory plus 4 other ones. The second question, do I want to be in choir? Yes or no? If you answer yes to one of those 2 questions, you can't answer yes to both, then you'll get band or choir plus 4 other exploratories. If you answer no and say, I don't want to be in band or I don't want to be in choir, then you're going to get the 8 exploratories that we're offering to everyone that's not band or choir. So let's look at the 4 classes that everyone, no matter whether in band or not, are going to get. Number 1 is phys ed or gym. Number 2 is Spanish. Number 3 is art. And number 4 is design and build, kind of like your STEAM class. So if you're in band or choir, or if you're not in band or choir, all of us are getting those 4 classes somewhere during the 6th grade year. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, if I don't choose band or choir, look at page 3. I get computer fundamentals, Michigan history, personal wellness, and Success 101. So the non-band kids or the non-choir kids get those 4 classes I just mentioned. Computer fundamentals, Michigan history, personal wellness, Success 101. In years past, we've given people choices. The choices, one is actually 2 simple choices. Band or choir, or I don't want either one. Then I get, okay? Any questions about that? So if I'm a band kid, can I take Michigan history? Yes or no? No. No. If I'm a choir kid, can I take art? Yes. Yes. Why can I take art? Because everyone gets art. Everyone gets art. No matter if I'm in band or choir, everyone gets art. Now, if you're on the fence, meaning I want to do band, I want to do choir, my suggestion would be to do band first. Because if you don't do band first, you're going to have to go back and get lessons over the summer of 6th grade so you can go into band as a 7th grader. If you want to pick up band as a 7th grader. So if you're on that fence, like you want to do both, pick band for now, and then join choir as a 7th grader. Because as a 7th grader, you can do both. Okay? Questions about that? So what's going to happen tonight? Yes? Good question. Okay, so have they been here to do fitting? Was he here yesterday? Yeah. Okay, so he's going to give me a list of the kids who were fitted. Okay? And he's going to say, these are the kids that are fitted, and this is the band they need to be in. Because in the band, there are 2 different bands, brass and percussion and woodwinds. So then he'll have a time over the summer in August where you go for an actual time for a person will come and you'll get your instrument that way. Question? Open house is next week, Wednesday. Okay? Other questions about scheduling? Classes? Behind you, sorry. You don't have to pick band or choir. So, for Miss Kubiak, were you a band person? Mr. P wasn't a band person. Mr. Johnson, were you a band person? So we did not pick that. Were you a band person? Were you a band person? Anybody else? So, that's it. So you don't have to pick band. Don't feel like you have to pick that. Now, let me tell you something about band. Band requires extra time outside of school. You have to do 100 minutes a week. 100 minutes a week practicing. Where are my basketball players? You go to basketball practice, right? And then you go to the game, right? You just don't show up on game day and say, oh, I'm ready to play basketball. You practice. So in choir or band, you have to practice as well, outside of school time. Outside of school time. So 100 minutes. So that's about approximately Monday through Friday, 20 minutes a week, a night. Question? We're going to talk about all that later. We're just talking about scheduling right now. What do you mean by a specific time? We're going to talk about all that later. We're talking about classes right now. Other questions about classes? No, it's not. It's like a health class. It's like a health class. Okay? So again, I'm not going to bore you with all those. Those are things you can read with your parents tonight. Okay? And you might want to think about that. Okay? But the bigger thing I think you should think about is if I want to be in band or choirs, do I want to make that time commitment? Okay? Because in choir, you have to practice as well. You have to practice as well. Yes, sir. How many hours? What? Actually, it's a 7 class period. Okay? So the choice you're going to make tonight is, do I want to be in band or choir? If you choose no, then you're going to get the 8 classes. If you choose yes to either one of those questions, you're going to get all 4 that we have all 6th graders taking. Question? We're going to start talking about that right now. All right? So let's put this aside for now. Let's start talking about Kennedy Middle School. Our day starts at 8:35. 8:35. The bell rings at 8:28. The kids start walking in the doors at 8:28. Kids can come into school at 8 o'clock for homework help or study hall. Our breakfast starts at 8:10. 8:10 is when breakfast starts. 8:35 is the first class period. Again, your first class might be different than the person next to you. It probably is. Okay, our first period goes from 8:35 to 9:31, about 52 minutes, 53 minute time period. Okay, and then the bell rings. 9:31, the bell rings, you get up and you go to your next class. You don't walk with your teacher to your next class. You're walking on your own. You may be from here to that wall to your next classroom. Or you might have to walk way down to the gym. So we don't walk there. You have 4 minutes to get there. 9:35, 9:34, the kind of a warning bell rings, saying you got 1 minute to go. Because class starts at 9:35. That's second hour. Second hour starts, you have class again. Again, your class might be different. Second hour is over at 10:31. Currently, our third hour class is advisory. Our sixth graders have advisory during third hour. You guys do P2 time, right? Last week I know P2 was humility, right? That was our P2 time. We do P2 time during advisory. Advisory is a 52-minute period. We break it up into two things. Advisory is P2, the announcements, which Ms. Kubiak does, and she sends them out to the teachers. They hear about what's going on. They're hearing about the game last night, the basketball game. They're hearing about what's going on, a dodgeball tournament coming up, whatever. And then at around 11 o'clock, 10:59, the sixth graders go to lunch. They have a 32-minute lunch period. While you guys are in lunch or at advisory, our seventh graders are in class, our eighth graders are in class. So we have one lunch hour for each grade level. Currently, sixth graders have the third hour lunch. Seventh graders have fourth hour, eighth graders have fifth hour. Big difference between elementary school and middle school. We do not have a playground. We do not have recess time. Okay? That's a big, big difference. All right? Do we go outside sometimes at lunch? Yes. But we don't go outside every day like you guys do. Okay? They sit in the cafeteria. We have movies playing. They're talking to each other, whatever. Then they go to fourth hour. They go to fifth hour, sixth hour, seventh hour. So you have 6 classes a day plus 1 hour advisory. So if you look at that first piece of paper, the 4 classes that we listed here, you have those 4 plus 2 hours of exploratories a day, plus advisory. Our school day ends at 3:30, except on early release, it's 2 o'clock. Okay? Questions about that? Yes, sir. You're assigned by your advisory teacher. So we have, I believe, 12 rows in the cafeteria, and you're assigned in rows, like row 1 might be Miss Barnett's class, and she has 3 tables. And then Mrs. Adamkevich has 3 tables in row 2. So it's spread out. There's 12 rows of tables. Yes?
When are we going to be getting our schedules and like our lockers?
Good question. August. Come August, we have what we have called orientation time. Where you come in the building, you find out, you get your schedule, you get your locker assignment. And that day you can find your locker, make sure you work it. Work the combination. Okay? Go around the school and find your classes. Kind of get the low of the lane. Okay, this is first hour. This is second hour. Okay? Have you guys done with them locks? Okay? My suggestion is to practice combination locks. Because that's the hardest thing for middle school kids when they first get there is doing the lock. Okay? Because right now you don't have combination locks on your lockers, do you? So you will have your own locker. You won't share a locker with anybody, but that locker will be yours and it has a combination lock on it. So you need to know how to do a combination lock. So it's good to kind of get there. And that's probably the hardest thing the kids struggle with in the first couple of days is that. Question. Will you have a different locker every day? No. Yes. You don't. Yes, you get a different. So right now you'll be in the 6th grade hall. 7th grade hall moves a little bit farther down. 8th grade moves a little bit farther down around the building. Other questions? In the back. No. About phones. So phones need to be put away. Okay? Need to be put away. Can't be out.
Everywhere in the building.
Everywhere in the building.
No using them in the hallway, none in the bathroom, none in classes, and not in your cabinet.
Okay? So the first time it would be kind of a warning. Second time it might be a call home. Third time a parent might have to come and pick it up.
Can we put it in our backpack?
As long as I don't see it. We don't want to see it. We don't carry backpacks in school. We carry string bags. We carry string bags. Okay? Question. Are we going to email what? There will be an email too. That's why we're taping that. We're going to send it to all your parents.
And then we will upload all of this stuff into Schoology. So if your grown-ups need it, they can go into Schoology and scan in Schoology.
Yes, ma'am. They don't want you to carry the bags, the backpacks. They want you to have stringer bags. I think it's space and stuff. A lot of it is that. Yes. Kids do that. So because they put their string bag with their Chromebook in there and their stuff. That's why it's easier to kind of walk it around. It's safer, too, to carry the Chromebook in that.
So just like you do for switching here, some of you have string bags, you bring your backpack to school and you have a string bag in your locker for switching, it's just like that.
Okay? So, what can we do as sixth graders outside of the normal sixth grade day? What can we be involved in? Well, there are some sports you can be involved in. You can be involved in cross country, which is in the fall. You can be involved in wrestling, which is in the wintertime. And you can be involved in track and cheerleading. You cannot be involved in football. You cannot be involved in basketball or volleyball. Those are 7th grade, 8th grade sports. Question. We do not have baseball. We do not have softball. We do not have soccer. Okay? Those are things you can do with your Parks and Rec team or your travel team or whatever. Okay? Those are sports. We have clubs you can be involved in. Ms. Kubiak and I do the bowling club. So what happens is in the fall we leave Kennedy Middle School, we check out from the library, we walk up to the Lakeshore Lanes on Jefferson. We do a 7-week bowling club there. We have a ski club in the wintertime where kids go out to Mount Holly. We have a drama club. We have student council, which Ms. Kubiak is involved in. I do a morning basketball program called Intramurals where kids come in the morning from 7:30 to 8:15 to play basketball 3 days a week. We have yoga and running club. Yes.
Do you have to pay to be like in the bowling club?
Yes. Because it's we have to pay the bowling alley for that. There is a cost factor. But it's kind of like a bowling league, but we just run it. Yes.
Would you be in more than one club?
Yes. Yes. We can be in many clubs if you want to be in. Yes. No hockey. Sports doesn't cost you anything per se? No. Some of them do. Like cross country, wrestling, and track does not involve a tryout. Basketball involves a tryout because we only have 15 spots on the team, so we have to have tryouts. So depending on how many kids come, depending on how many kids get cut. Yes.
I didn't even do we have to try out for cheer?
I believe it's a tryout, but I don't think it's a cut thing.
I think it just depends on the year.
How many kids are available?
Come out. We have 2 teams that are running right now, so they did a tryout, and they just decided which teams you would be on. We have Kennedy Blue and Kennedy White. So
Yes. You either can rent it or buy it. And that will be all decided. Mr. Arnold will have a meeting with the parents for those kids and say, okay, all that information will be there in regards to what you have to do about buying it yourself. Other questions? Behind. Sorry. No. I've been there 27, 28 years. We've never had a baseball team. We've always used the Parks and Rec program. Because I don't think there's any middle school programs out there that have.
We keep our phones in our pocket.
You can keep it in your pocket, but I better not see it. Right? Because as soon as it comes out, it's a problem.
Well, if it goes off, then we take it. So if it's on silent or if it's in airplane mode, you're going to be fine. And it's kind of like, remember when you guys were like 2 and 3 years old and some of you guys might have had like a little binky, a pacifier? Well, I got to take that pacifier away for a little while. Okay, you guys can get it back at the end of the day, but it's caused too many distractions and we're not locked in and we're not focused on what our true purpose is at school. Okay? So, yeah, so a lot of you guys have these smartwatches as well. All right? We're onto it. We know what's going on. So we will confiscate the watches if we have to. We'll confiscate the earbuds if we have to. Those things are not going to be allowed because it's all part of the cell phone usage.
So they can't wear a smartwatch then?
They can,
They
but
wear it. I'm not going to tell them that they can't wear it because they might have time. But if we catch them communicating on it, then it's going to be considered, a cell phone usage.
looking around the room, I see only one person that might be in a violation of something right now. You had your hood on. You can wear a hat.
I forgot I had that.
That's okay. And I just saw, I looked around. You can wear a hat in school, but you can't have a hood on. Okay? And a lot of kids have a problem with that. But it's like, why? Why? It's a rule. It's one of those things, it's a rule, you got to follow the rules. Yes, luckiest.
Can you like wear like a watch that tells you the time?
Yeah.
Old fashioned. I'm old.
Even if you wore your smartwatch, okay? Let's say you can wear it. They don't tell you the time. But if you're obviously communicating on it, then that's like using your cell phone, and then that's when we're gonna have to do something, okay?
All right. Other questions? Yes. Yes. AirPods are not necessarily allowed. It depends on the classroom, teacher. Yes.
So, say when we're doing work and we have like AirPods or earbuds.
It's up to the teacher.
Yeah, that'll be up to the teacher.
It's up to the individual teacher. Yes.
Do you have to do like maybe 2 sports at once? Or-
Usually there aren't 2 sports run at the same time.
Which ones are you thinking? Are you in an outside sport too?
I just want to do track. That's all.
Okay.
I just wanna-
Okay, so track is in the spring. So like in the fall is football, okay, volleyball for the girls, and cross country. Okay, in the wintertime it's boys basketball, girls basketball, then wrestling, and in the spring it's just track. Okay, so they usually don't overlap that way. I think cheerleading goes pretty much all year, and that gets tough because I've had girls play basketball for me on the girls team and also do cheerleading, and then they have to like leave to go to practice, and it gets kind of crazy. Yes.
I have a question about one of the classes.
Sure.
So if I'm in band, can I do computer for me?
Nope.
Okay.
The only thing you can do in band is page 2.
On page 2.
Page 2 is the only thing band people can do.
The good news is we have other computer classes in 7th and 8th grade where you'll still get it.
Okay.
You miss it in 6th. there's
Yes,
still
sir.
track and field.
Track and field, we run like distances. So they might be short distances, like 70 meters or 100 meters, or they could be up to a mile. You can throw a shot put. You can do long jump, which is kind of jumping into a pit, or high jump is jumping over a bar. Okay. Track is fun because last year we had over 100 kids join the track team, so it's really big. Yes. You get your own Chromebook. Now I'm not sure if you're going to have the Chromebook that you had from elementary school come up there, or if they're going to give you a new one. I'm not sure of that process. Yes. Games could be usually during the week, Monday and Wednesdays. Like yesterday, we had a game for the girls, but today we also have a game. So on a team. So usually what happens is we have practice Monday through Friday until games start, and then once games starts, we only go Monday through Thursday, and then games might be Monday, Wednesday, usually Monday, Wednesday. But we like this week we have a game Thursday. Other questions? Yes. 3:30. Except early release is 2:00. So we are the last school to start. Okay, you guys start at what time? 8:50, 8:10. We start at 8:30. Behind. Band is a class. Band is a class. Track is a sport. Okay? So yes, if you want to do both, you can. And a lot of kids do both. So a lot of kids play band and they also play sports. You can join football as a 7th grader, not as a 6th grader. So if you want to play football, you have to play for either Green Hornets or somebody else. Yes. You can. But the band and choir gets page 2. Like everyone else. Everyone else gets page 2. Band and choir gets page 2 only. Kids that are not band and choir get page 3. So you can't get Michigan history. But if she's not going to be in band or choir, she can get Michigan history. Make sense? Okay? Yes. How are we doing on that? Is it almost... Well, next week you can go out with your parents at night. We usually plan a day in May. Are you guys? I assume that day is coming up. May 23rd. So you guys will come over, spend about an hour with us, kind of walk around the school. The principals will meet with you guys, talk with you. Some of us will take you around for tours to see the different parts of the building. Okay? Yes.
Do we have stuff like winter, like summer break?
Your breaks are the same as our breaks. Behind me. Yes.
we joined the football team in 7th and 8th grade. Is it gonna be every day?
Pretty much.
And
It's in the fall.
and then
Can girls play football? Yes.
and then do we have half days?
Everything you guys have, we have the same thing. Oh. What? No recess. Lucky. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it online. There's gonna be a Google form that's gonna be sent. Okay.
I'm gonna send something home to your parents tonight. You guys can discuss the sheet and like the course selections on what classes that really it comes down to band or choir. Because if you choose band or choir, you're only getting the first 4 of those exploratory classes on page 2. And then after, if you choose not band or choir, then you'll get all 8 of those exploratories, but you'll automatically get those 4 core classes that we talked about on page 1.
Yes.
2 questions. So, the first one is how long does each class last?
About 52 minutes.
And the second question is, I forgot, but what time does like the classes start at?
8:35. Now, let's stop the questions for a second because I want to make sure I touch base on that paper that was the single paper. That's information that was sent to you guys, written about 6th grade camp. 6th grade camp is happening Wednesday, November 1st through Friday, November 3rd. 6th grade camp goes out to Camp Store in Napoleon, Michigan, which is outside Jackson. You spend 3 days there. You get to pick one person to be your cabin buddy. One person to be your cabin buddy. That way you know for sure, I have one friend that I'm going to be with. The teachers then can give you another group of 12 kids to go with you two. So there's 14 kids in a cabin. Boys are all in one cabin. Girls are all in one cabin. We have 2 high school kids who will be your cabin leaders. They'll be with you. They'll be going with you, doing the things, doing the events. Maybe climbing the wall. Maybe doing canoeing. Maybe doing whatever. Ropes course. Whatever it is. All right? Again, the cost is $185. I believe that's correct, right? $185. All right? Are they doing any fundraising for them? I don't think so. Okay? So then you guys, the parents, are going to have to pay that money up to $185. So if something you want to do, consider it. The kids that don't go to 6th grade camp come to Kennedy, and they have school that week at Kennedy. Or the kids that are at camp do something different over there. All right? So it's a fun 3 days. Again, it's a good chance for you to meet kids from other schools. Yes? Are you allowed to bring your phones? Yes. Are you allowed to use your phones? No phones? No phones. Okay? So if there's something that the parent needs to get a hold of you, they have to call the camp.
Is there school lunch there, and do you have to pay?
No, we don't give you lunch at all. You starve every day. Yes, we have lunch. Actually, I think the choices are better. The choices are better because we definitely have more choices. We have 3 different things you can have. You can pick like pizza, sandwiches, a hot food, maybe like nachos or chicken legs. You can have a sandwich, a salad. So there's many more choices. And there is a cost factor, yes.
Can you eat snacks between classes?
Usually not. Snacks between classes. Usually not because we don't want all the ants and stuff in the classroom. I know that's probably something you guys do in elementary school. Again, there are going to be, you're moving up. As you move up, things change. Okay? You don't want to do the same thing you did in elementary school in 9th grade or 8th grade or 7th grade. All right, somebody that hasn't asked a question yet, you have not asked a question. You get the last question.
So do we learn stuff like new than we do now, like
Well, there's going to be some things that it's a good question. Are we going to learn something new? There's going to be some review of stuff, but then there's also going to be stuff that's going to be building. Okay? Math, let me talk about math with you. I always say math is like walking up steps. If you have a basement in your house, there's 12 steps in your basement, from the bottom floor to the top. If you walk up first grade you learn how to do addition. In 2nd grade, you might have done something different. And now in 5th grade, you're probably doing fractions, right? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, fractions. In 6th grade, you're going to do fractions a little bit at the beginning, but they're going to expand that fractions. Now they're going to do fractions with maybe negative and positive numbers. Maybe you're now going to do ratios. Maybe now you're going to do percentages. Math builds. Math builds on the previous levels that you've learned. So you kind of have to master that before you move on to the next. All right, I think we have to go, right? I just dropped the mic.
Guys, I know we have a number of questions probably still. Here's the hope that you guys will be able to come on Wednesday. You guys will be able to see the building, and then you guys will be able to ask some more questions. Here's the deal, though. Now that we've been here, now that you guys have heard the spiel, you guys are now becoming part of the Kennedy family, and that building is open to you at any time. You guys can come over there at any time. You guys can come to visit us at any time, and you guys can come and ask a million questions, okay? I know that this transition for you guys is going to be a little scary for some, exciting for others, but at the end of the day, I can promise you, you guys will become leaders of that building, and you guys will be able to show the next group of sixth graders when they come in how Kennedy Middle School operates and what the expectations are. Okay? There are a couple of things that I ask of you when you come to Kennedy. I want you guys to give your best every day. I don't care what the results are as long as I know that you gave your best every day. Okay? And I also want us to learn to have each other's backs and respect each other at all times. This crazy world that we live in, we're doing it together. Okay? So we need to have each other's backs, and we need to be able to support one another and pick each other up when we're having a tough time. Okay? So those are my big expectations of you guys. I can tell you that my Violet All-Stars that come to Kennedy are always some of the best students. So I expect that to continue. And I'm excited to have you guys. I'm really excited to see what you guys have in store for you in the future. And the next 3 years, you guys will really enjoy yourself over at Kennedy. Okay, I promise you that. All right, the last two questions, because you guys are making me tired holding your arm up. Sir, we do have ice cream. Yes. 3 different lunches. So you guys will have the second lunch around 11:30ish. Okay? You guys will get all that information. If you come on Wednesday, you're going to get the schedule of what the building day looks like. There's still 3 lunches, and then it'll rotate around because your lunch backs up to your advisory time. All right? That's all my questions for now. I will see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of this year. It's going to go quick. Enjoy spring break. It's coming up. And if you guys have any snow day celebrations, you guys better do them tonight because there's a possibility, but there's not promised yet. Okay? All right. Have a good rest of your day.